Welcome to the last Saturday Gamecast of Castlevania. This has the final stages going up to Dracula and fighting said Dracula. In real life, this week we are both healthier than we were last week. I left some of the deaths on the top ramparts here just to add some time to this video so we could talk a little more about what's happening over here. We were both sick last weekend, but feeling better here at the end of this week. We got a chance to watch the Iowa game on Saturday night, which was fun. We signed up for Big Ten Network to go international, and I know I don't like to pay for things normally, but I was pretty happy to pay for this one. The price was reasonable, and it gives us access to live games if they're on the Big Ten family of networks, or on-demand replay games if they're on one of the sister networks like ESPN, ABC, and the other ones for Big Ten. So some of the games we'll be watching live, and some of them we'll be watching first thing the next morning as they go live like at midnight Eastern on those nights. So first thing in the morning, and those actually, some of those games would have been late games for us anyway. Like the Iowa State game, I think starts at 5 p.m. Central, which is 11 p.m. out here, so we wouldn't be staying up to watch that game. This weekend I was playing an earlier game, so we won't have to be up quite as late as we were, and hopefully the game is a little bit shorter and a little bit happier outcome than last week's game. But also happening on the day that I'm recording this is the start of the NFL season, and that is important because we are both in a fantasy football league. This is Sarah's first fantasy league. I've played in some fantasy leagues before. In the game, we are climbing Dracula's clock tower here. That's the scenery that we're looking at and watching here. I'm at the part of the game still where every hit takes 4 bars of health, 4 units of health. So this is it gets pretty hairy here. We will see the actual workings of the clock in the second part of this screen as we work our way forward. And we see some of the wacky enemy types start to pop up. The harpies with the flea men in the workings of the clock. But the screen becomes pretty full of enemies, and right now I've only got 1 hit left in me. And if I make it to the top of the screen, I can get to a safe zone, but I didn't make it on that particular run. Anyway, the fantasy football draft was last Sunday, and we are bopping around our lineups in anticipation of the games starting tonight, so that'll be exciting. If we need to watch those games, we'll be entering the world of illegal streaming, which I'm not totally sure about, so we'll have to see about that as we go forward. I'll let you know. There was a knockback that got me into the pit even though I wasn't facing the right way for knocking back. That shows you just how that mechanic of knocking back can be frustrating. I'm also expanding my job searching to include a much broader areas of working. I've opened it up to just about anything for which I qualify. Not anything, I guess. I qualify for some things that I'm still being a little picky about, but I've opened it up to include more, and I've been doing some pounding of pavements, going out and finding places, looking for wanted signs, looking for ads. I've joined just about every job finding website that I can. This part is, if I had gotten that attack out in that harpy, I would have been fine. This part is nerve-wracking even to watch. Making our way through this part. It's just intense. The music here gives it a really nice atmosphere of uncertainty going towards the final area. But searching for jobs, I'm just looking for something that'll help keep me busy and earn a little bit of money. The weather's been really nice here, so I've been going to the beach a couple days this week, the Sea Point Beach here in Dublin, and it's been busy every day because the weather's been so nice. Here I actually make it past the dangerous area with 1 hit left into the safe zone before actually climbing the clock tower to Dracula. And once you get here, they call it the safe zone. Once you cross that threshold, you keep starting right back there, even at game over. There's Dracula's clock right there, and the crescent moon. I think that's really cool. There's a mechanic right here where you can keep getting these hearts by going back down the stairs and back up the stairs. We're going to skip a lot of that in a little screen jump here. Now I have full health and 64 hearts just to save you watching me go down and up the stairs collecting hearts. Here we're fighting the first form of Dracula, where he looks a little bit more humanoid. I'm using the boomerang to kill his projectiles and getting the point bonus, so you notice, because I'm killing 3 enemies with each attack, because each projectile counts as an enemy, and then trying to score hits on his head also. That's the only place that he's vulnerable, is in the head. I'm killing the fireballs he's shooting out in an attempt to get the double and triple shot bonuses to fall for me. See, I got the double shot, and I continue to do this. Is my strategy. There's lots of different ones for Dracula. Any hit you take still takes a quarter of your life, and sometimes Dracula appears right on top of you, and there's not really much you can do to avoid it. So you have to rely a little bit on luck and a little bit on manipulation of where he pops up. And your timing has to be just perfect on everything, as it was not right there. I jumped a little bit too early and threw the boomerang too early. It was past his hitbox before the fireballs appeared. But I'm making my way through. He has 3 hits left. Each whip hit takes an even 1 unit of health from Drac. 1 more hit on him, and I'll have him. There's one where he popped up right on top of me, so this gives me 2 hits. I've got 1 hit to spare. Knocked his head off, and he turns into Demon Dracula. So, now, I wish I had the triple shot, but I just have the double. So I'm going to throw boomerangs and whip like crazy. That's all I can do. Try not to get hit. He does have a high jump that you can go under if you can predict it. You can start moving and get under his high jump, but he's been doing his low jump. But I'm working him down. 1 more hit and I'm dead. Keep in mind, we've got to get him here. He's down to 2 hits, 1 hit, and dead. Collect that last orb, and that is the game. Here comes the irritating heart noise. Ah, good, it's done. So on the beaches, I've been collecting the last couple days going down there. I've been collecting cool stuff, doing some beach combing. Collected some sea glass, actually quite a good amount of sea glass of different colors. And it's just really fascinating stuff to look at. I've got some white, brown, and green are the most common ones. So there's another kind of bluish teal color that came from pop bottles of the mid-20th century. They used that color glass for a long time. But I've also got a few bits of painted pottery chips and a few other colors. I've got some darker blues. I have different hues of yellow and green and brown that are not quite the same bottle green. So that's been really, really fun to do. I've cleaned them up and I've got them drying and sorted by color, and I'm looking for things to do with them. Hopefully I can find something fun and maybe something to make a little cash if I can. And now we start the second quest.